everyone, this is Fat Loss Fundamentals Part 3. In this video we're going to go over how to gauge your progress and how and when to tweak your program. Now there's a couple main ways you can track and gauge your progress. First and foremost is body weight loss. That's the easiest and most convenient way to track your progress. All you need is a body weight scale to weigh yourself on. Now when you do this, you want to weigh yourself under the same conditions every time, usually first thing in the morning, after using the bathroom, and before eating. This is going to eliminate variables like hydration, how much food you ate that day, the weight of clothing. A lot of times people weigh themselves at the gym midday, and there's so many different variables that come into play that can change your actual weight and give you an inaccurate or inconsistent body weight if you're tracking your progress over the course of weeks and months. So again, weight loss using a scale is the best, most convenient way to track your progress. You want to aim to lose about 0.5 to 1% body weight per week. Now this is based off of some scientific studies that we have that show that once you start losing at a rate greater than 1% of your body weight per week, the rate of lean mass loss increases. So you're going to want to limit your rate of loss to 0.5 to 1% body weight per week. The next way you can use to gauge your progress is measurements. Using a tape measure, you can measure things like your waist, your hips, your thigh, your muscle girth measurements to see the changes that take place. Now this is important because there may be times when your body weight will decrease or your body weight stays the same and your measurements decrease. This means that you actually did lose weight or lose fat even though it isn't reflected in your body weight. The third way is to take pictures. Ideally you want to take full body pictures in the same place with the same lighting and the same poses each and every week. If you use different lighting, then it may give the illusion of more or less progress that really occurred. Or if in your initial pictures you're just standing straight up and down, and then in your next progress pictures you're doing different poses, that can also create the illusion of progress even though there may have not have been any. The final way is taking your body fat percentage. Now this is the most inaccurate and inconsistent way to track your progress. A lot of things like the handheld body fat analyzers or the scales that measure your body fat are very inaccurate. Really the most accurate way you can take your body fat percentage at home is using calipers, which measure skin fold measurements of your body fat. Again, this can be a very inconsistent or inaccurate way to measure your body fat. If you wish to do that, you can, but it's not a must-do. So the main way you're going to track your progress for fat loss, and the most easiest way, is going to be your weight loss. Now, let's say you're not losing that 0.5% body fat and you need to make changes. There's three things you can adjust: your nutrition, your weight training, and your cardio. So you want to look at these different aspects of your program in different ways. Your nutrition should create your caloric deficit and create your fat loss. That's first and foremost. If you're eating more calories than you're burning each day, then you're not going to lose fat. So that's the first thing you want to look at when your weight training cardio is in place. If you're not losing fat at the rate you want to lose that, you can decrease your carbs and or fats as needed. You want to leave protein the same at around 1 gram per pound of body weight. Again, eating enough protein is important for maintaining lean body mass. So first and foremost, you can look at your nutrition. If you're not in a caloric deficit, then you're not going to stimulate fat loss. When it comes to your weight training program, as I talked about in previous videos, you don't really want to look at weight training as a way to burn calories. You want to look at it as a way to maximize body composition and also to stimulate the maintenance of lean mass during a caloric deficit. If you're eating less calories than you're burning and you're losing weight, if you're not stimulating your muscles to maintain the muscle mass through overload with weight training, then you increase the chance of lean mass loss. So with weight training, you want to focus on performance. Again, you're not looking at weight training simply to burn calories. You're looking at it as a way to maintain lean body mass. So you always want to try to either complete more weights or lift heavier over the weeks. Now that may become harder as you get into a greater caloric deficit, but that should still be your focus with weight training. So you aren't necessarily going to increase the amount of exercises or amount of time you spend in the gym per se. You could add in additional weight training workouts in the week. But again, your primary focus with weight training is to support muscle retention. So then the third way you can tweak your program is through cardio. And with cardio, you are simply looking at that as a way to burn calories. You're not really doing it for a training stimulus the same way you would do weight training. Weight training can help you gain muscle mass and strength. Cardio, on the other hand, will not. So with cardio, you can either increase the intensity or increase the duration. Remember from our video last week, you want to limit your cardio to no more than half the amount of time you spend weight training each week. So if you're weight training 4 hours per week, you want to max out your cardio at 2 hours per week. So even before you increase your duration, you can increase the intensity of your cardio. There's various ways you can do that. If you're only doing steady state cardio, you could add in high intensity interval training, which we talked about last week as well, where you go from performing all out intervals alternating with active rest periods. This is a more intense form of cardio and leads to a greater increase in your metabolic rate post-cardio than a steady state session. Another way to increase your intensity with a steady state session is simply to try to do more or complete more cardio than you did last time in the same amount of time. So if you're doing 20 minutes of cardio, let's say in week 1 or session number 1, you completed 3 miles in that 20 minutes. The next time you do your cardio session, you should try to complete more than 3 miles, which means you're either going to go faster or increase the resistance on the machine. So let's say you do 3.05 miles. The next time you're going to try to beat 3.05. You're going to try to do 3.1 miles. So just like with weight training, you're trying to progressively get stronger. With cardio, you're going to try to progressively complete a longer distance. That's going to go a long way in ensuring that you're increasing the amount of cardio or amount of calories you're burning each session. Now, someone asked me a question through email on how they should track the amount of calories they burn during their workouts and cardio session. And my answer is you really shouldn't focus on that. Any sort of calorie burn you're going to get through the machines or the Fitbit or whatever, that's an estimation. And when you plug that into the equation for the week, it may not actually result in the weight you lose. I would focus more on adjusting your program based on your rate of weight loss in progress than the calories you're burning. So for example, someone might say, okay, I'm burning 500 calories per workout, therefore I can replace those 500 calories with food and still lose weight. But that doesn't always happen. So again, simply complete your workouts, complete your cardio with your goals, and then look at your weekly rate of progress to adjust your calorie intake. So looking at all this, what you change is going to be based on a few factors. The one thing you want to remember is you're trying to balance your calories in your diet with your calories out, your exercise program. If your calories are too low, it's going to impair your performance and recovery, which means your performance in your weight training sessions are going to suffer, and therefore the stimulus to maintain muscle mass is going to decrease. So you don't want to just simply haphazardly decrease calories and decrease macros to stimulate weight loss if your performance in the gym is decreasing. Maintaining performance is very important for the maintenance of lean muscle mass over time. At the other end of the spectrum, you don't want to do too much cardio to the point where you're interfering with your performance in the gym or interfering with the training stimulus and training adaptations of weight training. Remember, weight training has a different stimulus and different training adaptations than cardio. They're actually opposite adaptations. So as someone who's trying to maximize body composition, the amount of lean mass, and decrease the amount of body fat, you want to make weight training your primary form of exercise. You shouldn't be doing more cardio than weight training, which is why we set the general rule of limiting cardio to no more than half the amount of time you spend weight training. So you're going to balance those two with the goal of keeping calories as high as possible and performing as little cardio as possible while still losing weight at your desired rate of 0.5 to 1% body weight per week. So what you change at different times throughout your program is going to depend on your current program. If your calories are established and you're not doing any cardio, you may add in some cardio first. If your nutrition is established, you're already doing some cardio, you may need to decrease your carbs and fat in order to stimulate fat loss. So again, you're trying to balance your entire program of nutrition, weight training, and cardio. So the take-home points from this is your nutrition is going to stimulate the fat loss. Weight training should be viewed as a way to maintain lean muscle mass, and you should focus on performance in the gym. The amount are increasing the number of reps you complete with the weight or increasing the weight you lifted. Cardio should be viewed as a way to burn calories. Now with that, if you need to increase your caloric expenditure, you can increase the duration or the intensity of your cardio. You want to balance all three so that your performance in the gym is high and you're still losing weight at the desired rate of 0.5 to 1% body weight per week. So I know that seems like a lot of information and it may not give you exact answers, and that's because there isn't one precise answer. what you need to do is going to depend on your entire program and where you're currently at. So if you have any questions, feel free to post them below. If you like this video, like it so I know that and I'll keep making more. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and stay tuned for the next episode.